While chainsaw carving, there's a few things that are inevitable. One, no matter how hard you try, you're always going to hit the metal surface on your jaw horse or your motorcycle lift, whatever holding device you decide to choose. You're always going to hit some part of it at some time, whether you're a beginner or a pro. It doesn't matter. You're going to hit it. So that's one thing. Another thing that's inevitable is you're going to get sawdust in places that you don't want it. For me, that place is usually in my eye or in my nose, because I don't wear a mask. But other people, it's just like down their pants or down their shirt. I get it down those places, but I just don't care. You know, a little grit never hurt anyone. And then another thing that's inevitable is you're going to chip a tooth at some point. And I chipped a tooth while carving this Christmas tree. I chipped it, and then I also lost a tooth. So you can see one's missing right there, and this is hot because a dull chain means for a whole lot of friction. So this thing is blazing hot. So there's a little chip right there on that tooth. There's a little chip on that tooth. So there's all kinds of chips on this. And it's all just from this one piece. That chain was brand new this morning. So another reason why I hate Christmas trees. I hate doing trees. These trees bother me. First off, they take as much time to start as does a little bear. And they take as much gas and about as much wood as a little bear. So, whereas I can make about $50 off of that, I can only make about 10 to 20 bucks off of this. So, worth it? Not quite. Also, I hate working with pine splinters like crazy. This was a 6x6, which it's not quite my choice of wood there. It's just what I had available. I've got all this wood, but, you know, like, that's a bear, you know, these are bears, that's a pumpkin, you know, like, so there's a pumpkin that I just made out of this same piece of wood, these two pumpkins, and then those four right there are all out of this 6x6 that I actually dug out of the trash at a construction site. So free wood is good wood, even though I hate it. So also, because this is kiln-dried lumber, when they kiln dry something, it hardens the wood. So whereas this is pine, which you wouldn't think is, well, for someone that knows their wood, you know, you wouldn't expect pine to be hard, but kiln-dried lumber, no matter what kind of wood it is, it's going to be hardened. This is about as hard for me to cut through as is a piece of elm, which I don't really have any elm laying around out here. But elm is an extremely dense wood, comparable to walnut or oak. It's heavy duty. So this, which shouldn't be that hard to cut through, is just as hard to cut through as those hardwoods. So yet another thing that I don't like about this. But, you know, I can't really complain. Sure, it's a couple of chipped teeth, and it's missing a tooth now. Where did that missing tooth go? Where'd it go? There it is. Right? There it is, yeah. So, even though that chain's no good now, I like to keep a no good chain on me, at least one, because there's always a chance that I'll cut into a piece of wood that I know that there's a nail in, but I can't take that nail out. So I'll take one of my fairly dull chains or chipped tooth chains and I'll just have at it, you know. I've also got a spare used bar. Like, this one's not dead, but it's on its last leg. I don't know if you can see, but this is kind of mushrooming out. It's not supposed to do that, and this should spin fairly freely, but it's not really free. I do need to oil it up a little bit if I'm going to use it. But anyhow, so I keep a dull chain and a bad bar on me, a fairly bad bar, just in case I have to go through a piece of wood that I know is going to chip a tooth or break off a tooth on a new chain. So that's a pro tip for you. But, you know, I can't really complain. You know, I got a little bit done today. You know, I've got those 2 pumpkins started, these 4 over here, that little one there. I got these, I don't know what to call them. They're kind of like a HD 2D item. And HD 2D for me means half diameter. So it's usually half a log, so half diameter, and 2-dimensional. So there's that one. Just something super simple there. This one was a little bit more difficult because curved angles are hard to do, for me at least. Did a little owl looking pumpkin. I don't know, I just got kind of bored. This is my bored face. That's something I came up with in high school, but never made anything out of it. Maybe I should make something out of it now that I'm a chainsaw carver. Anyhow, then this one was quite a bit more difficulty because I had to take out all that material without messing up the face too much. And I started this little bear. It's gonna hold a sign right there. Then this little bear, I see a lot of artists, a lot of chainsaw carvers do a backpack bear, so he's gonna have a backpack on. That's the strap right there, and his right hand is coming up to grab that strap, and then this paw will be holding a little walking stick, which will go like that if all goes well with this thing. And then I also got a little 2D Christmas tree started. So yeah, and that's not a cut, that's pith. That's the pith of the wood. So yeah. I do overcuts sometimes, but that's not one of them. That's kind of an overcut. But yep, anyhow, that's what I got done today. It's gonna rain all of this week. Like, starting tomorrow, it's gonna be a downpour until next Monday. So I gotta get this covered, which is why I dragged all this crap over here, is to cover it up with. And hope that when I come back next week to carve, because I gotta get a few more bears done, but when I come back next week to carve, that hopefully this will be fairly dry and I won't have to throw out too much stuff. The reason why I say throw out stuff is because sometimes a dry piece of wood, like that piece of wood over there, is completely dry, but if it soaks up water, it'll have to dry out again, and that could crack it some more. And if it cracks any further, it might take that crack the rest of the way through it, and then it'll be no good to me. So there's that chance too. So anyhow, that's all for now. The sun's going down, kind of pretty. And thanks for looking. God bless. Peace out.